You're welcome back. This is Breakfast Daily. Time now to discuss and talk about issues that are, affecting all of us. Now, after complaints, of difficulties with the economy, after all the challenges, in Ghana that we've been talking about, the ailing Citi, after a series of consultations by the president with various heads of institutions, the president yesterday, last night, came into our homes once again to update us on what he is doing, what he and his government are doing to make sure that there's a bit of respite, on Ghanaians. The rate at which things are going high and high and high, we don't know what's going to happen by December, but that will not, stop us from doing what we need to do. Christmas is just around the corner. Now, the president said a lot of things. I'm sure everyone had his own take home, of the update that the president gave us. And he's promised that he's going to be doing this more often. He's going to be updating us on measures put in place to arrest the city, to bring some kind of relief to Ghanaians. So on Breakfast Daily today, we are going to be delving into some of the things that the president said. I don't know what you made of his speech last night, but just in case you missed it or you missed certain parts of the president's address yesterday, just take a look at that. When we are back, we will look at some of the highlights. So this is the president's update on the economy brought to us last night.
40 years. The steepest depreciation in their currencies to the US dollar over the last 30 years. The fastest peak in interest rates for over 20 years. And the greatest threat of the unemployment in peacetime, with over 100 million people being pushed into extreme poverty. Between the end of 2019 and now, inflation in Ghana has increased by 5-fold, in Togo by 16-fold, by 11-fold in Senegal, and by 7-fold in Côte d'Ivoire. In truth, however, the fact that there are petrol queues in France does not make it more tolerable that the trotro price from Kassoa to Circle has doubled in the past 1 year. Nor does it make it any more tolerable that the price of cooking oil goes up every other week. It is important to state mentioning the increases in prices worldwide is not meant to belittle the scope of suffering here, but simply to help us put things into some perspective, hopefully learn some useful lessons about how other people are coping. Fellow Ghanaians, this is why I'm back in your homes this evening, to ask for your support as we work together to get our economy back into good shape. In April, after the cabinet retreat of the first quarter, in recognizing the deteriorating macroeconomy, my government announced a 30% cut in budgeted discretionary expenditures and a 30% cut in salaries of the president, vice president, ministers, deputy ministers, MMDCs, and political office holders, amongst other measures. And since July, when the government took the difficult decision to go to the IMF to seek support, I've been speaking publicly at different fora on the subject of the economic difficulties we face, especially during my recent tours, so far, of 9 regions, and interacting directly with you, the Ghanaian people. It is also true that many of you have felt the need for me to come back to the fellow Ghanaians format that brings us all together. For us in Ghana, our reality is that our economy is in great difficulty. The budget drawn for the 2022 fiscal year, that is this year, has been thrown out of gear, disrupting our balance of payments and debt sustainability, and further exposing the structural weaknesses of our economy. We are in a crisis. I do not exaggerate when I say so. I cannot find an example in history when so many malevolent forces have come together at the same time. But, as we have shown in other circumstances, we should turn this crisis into an opportunity to resolve not just the short-term urgent problems, but the long-term structural problems that continue to bedevil our economy. I urge us all to see the decision to go to the International Monetary Fund in this light. We've gone to the fund to repair in the short term our public finances and restore our balance of payments, whilst we continue to work on the medium to long-term structural changes that are at the heart of our goal of constructing a resilient, robust Ghanaian economy and building a Ghana beyond aid. I'm able to report to you, my fellow Ghanaians, that the negotiations to secure a strong IMF program, which will support the implementation of our post-COVID-19 program for economic growth and additional funding to support the 2023 budget and development program, are at advanced stages and are going well. We're determined to secure these arrangements quickly to bring back confidence and relief to Ghanaians. We're working towards reaching a deal with the IMF by the end of the year. This will give further credence to the measures government is taking to stabilize and grow the economy, as well as shore up our currency. I know that the increasing cost of living is the number one concern for all of us. It is driven by fast escalating fuel prices at the pumps, which is caused by high crude oil prices on the world market and our depreciated currency. I know that this is putting intolerable pressure on families and businesses. I know that people are being driven to make choices they should not have to make. And I know that it has led to the devaluation of capital of traders and painfully accumulated savings. Furthermore, government is working to secure reliable and regular sources of affordable petroleum products for the Ghanaian market. It is expected that this arrangement, when successful, coupled with a stable currency, will halt the escalation of fuel prices and bring relief to us all. I hear from the market queens also that another factor fueling the high prices is the high margins that some traders are slapping on goods for fear of future higher costs. I say to our traders, we are all in this together. Please, let us be measured in the margins we seek. I have great respect and admiration for the ingenuity and hard work of our traders, especially those that take on the distribution of foodstuffs around the country. And I would hesitate to join in calling them names. I do make a heartfelt appeal that we all keep an eye out for the greater good and not try to make the utmost profits out of the current difficulty. In language that every market woman, and indeed every trader in our country understands, let me say that the basic problem we face is that we're not making as much money as we need to spend. And what little money we do make is going to pay for the debts we have contracted to fund the development projects we must have. Not enough of us are paying our taxes. Not enough of us are producing to generate the revenues that we need. Nevertheless, my ambitions for Ghana remain high. All our children should be educated and trained with skills that will enable us to be competitive in the world. We need to close rapidly the infrastructure gap. We need to build a world-class healthcare system. And we need to build confidence in ourselves to make ours the happy and prosperous place it deserves to be. I believe we can and we will find the means to achieve these goals, even if the immediate measures we have to take are painful. At the just ended cabinet retreat at Peduasi Lodge, the government agreed on the framework for the post-COVID-19 program for economic growth and the IMF support for its implementation, as well as the work being done by the Ministry of Finance in preparation for the 2023 budget. At the retreat, we took some firm decisions to put us on the path that will take our nation out of the current economic difficulty. Let me try and give you an outline of the main decisions without getting into the technical language that baffles many of us. To restore and sustain debt sustainability, we plan to reduce our total public debt to GDP ratio to some 55% in present value terms by 2028, with the servicing of our external debt pegged at not more than 18% of our annual revenue also by 2028. We're committed to improving the revenue collection effort from the current tax revenue to GDP ratio of 13% to between 18 and 20% to be competitive with our peers in the West Africa region. The Ghana Revenue Authority is rolling out an extensive set of measures to support the enhanced revenue mobilization. All of us must do our patriotic duty and support the GRA in this exercise. We're aiming to restore and sustain macroeconomic stability within the next 3 to 6 years. The focus on ensuring debt sustainability to promote durable and inclusive growth while protecting the poor. We've decided to review the reforms in the energy sector, capping of statutory funds, implementation of the Exemptions Act, and a new property rate regime. We've also decided to continue with the policy of 30% cut in the salaries of political office holders, including the President, Vice President, Ministers, Deputy Ministers, MMDCs, and SOE appointees in 2023, just as we will continue with the 30% cut in discretionary expenditures of ministries, departments, and agencies. My fellow Ghanaians, the success of our efforts in diversifying the structure of the Ghanaian economy from an import-based one to a value-added exporting one is what will, in the long term, help strengthen our economy. We're making some progress with the 1D, 1F, but our current situation requires that we take some more stringent measures to discourage the importation of goods that we can and do produce here. To this end, we will review the standards required for imports into the country. We will prioritize the imports, as well as review the management of our foreign exchange reserves in relation to imports of products such as rice, poultry, vegetable oil, toothpicks, pasta, fruit juice, bottled water, and ceramic tile, and others, which with intensified government support, and that of the banking sector, can be manufactured and produced insufficient quantities in Ghana. Government will in May 2023, that is 6 months from now, review the situation. We must, as a matter of urgent national security, reduce our dependence on imported goods and enhance our self-reliance as demanded by our overarching goal of creating a Ghana beyond aid. Much as we believe in free trade, we must work to ensure that the majority of goods in our shops and marketplaces are those we produce and grow here in Ghana. That is why we have to support our farmers and domestic industries, including those created under the 1D1F initiative, to help reduce our dependence on imports and allow us the opportunity to export more and more of our products, guarantee a stable currency that will present a high level of predictability for citizens and the business community. Exports, not imports, must be our mantra. Accra, after all, hosts the headquarters of the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Fellow Ghanaians, as the French would say, l'argent n'aime pas le bruit. To wit, money does not like noise. Sika mpe dede. Where there's chaos, where there's noise, where there's unrest, you will not find money. If you talk down your money, it will go down. If you allow an unidentifiable person to talk down your money, it will go down. The recent turbulence on the financial markets was caused by low inflows of foreign exchange and was made worse in the last 2 to 3 weeks, in particular, by the activities of speculators and the black market. An anonymous 2-minute audio message on a WhatsApp platform predicting a so-called haircut of government bonds sent all of us into banks and forex bureaus to dump our CDs. And before we knew it, the CD had depreciated even further. All of us can play a part in helping to strengthen the CD, having confidence in the currency and avoiding speculation. Let us keep our CD as the good store of value it is. For those who make it a habit of publishing falsehoods, which result in panic in the system, I say to them, the relevant state agencies will act against such persons. Indeed, some steps have been taken to restore order in the foreign exchange markets, and we're already beginning to see some calm returning. We will not relent until order is completely restored. The following actions have been taken thus far. 1, enhance supervisory action by the Bank of Ghana in the Forex Bureau markets and the black market to flush out illegal operators, as well as ensuring that those permitted to operate legally abide by the market rules. Already, some Forex bureaus have had their licenses revoked, and this exercise will continue until complete order is restored in the sector. 2, fresh inflows of dollars are providing liquidity to the foreign exchange market and addressing the pipeline demand. 3, the Bank of Ghana has given its full commitment to the commercial banks to provide liquidity to ensure the wheels of the economy continue to run in a stabilized manner till the IMF program kicks in and the financing assurance is expected from other partners also come in. 4, government is working with the Bank of Ghana, the oil producing and mining companies, to introduce a new legal and regulatory framework to ensure that all foreign exchange and from operations in Ghana are initially paid to banks domiciled in Ghana to help boost the domestic foreign exchange market. 5, the Bank of Ghana will continue and enhance its gold purchase program. I'm confident that these immediate measures designed to change the structure of our balance of payment flows, sanitize the foreign exchange market, ensure that the banks and forex bureau operate along international best practices, together with strengthened supervision, will go a long way to sanitize our foreign exchange market and make it more resilient against external vulnerabilities going forward. Over the course of this week, I've had several fruitful engagements with the Trades Union Congress and Organized Labor, Ghana Employers Association, the Association of Ghana Industries, the Ghana Association of Banks, Private Enterprise Federation, the Association of Forex Bureau Operators, the Association of Market Queens and Women, all of whom represent important stakeholders of the Ghanaian economy. They expressed their concerns and proposed solutions on how best to solve our problems. I've been encouraged by the enthusiasm of these interest groups to help government to address these challenges. And I intend to continue these engagements with other groups. I also want to assure all Ghanaians that no individual or institutional investor, including pension funds, in government treasury bills or instruments, will lose their money as a result of our ongoing IMF negotiations. There will be no haircuts. So I urge all of you to ignore the false rumors. Just as in the banking sector cleanup, government ensured that the 4.6 million depositors affected by the exercise did not lose their deposits. And menim sɛ asetena mu ayɛ den. Nanso mo bi ampa aba. Wokɔ so nyɛ gyidie wɔ aban no mu. Nhyehyɛeɛ a ɛtumi ma free SHS, any one district, one factory, ɛbaa mu no. Nhyehyɛeɛ a ɛboa ma yɛtumi pam corona yareɛ no firi ɔman no mu. Saa nso na maban ɛtoto nneɛma yie. Saa mmerɛ ɛma ahotɔ aba ɔman mu. Na menim sɛ gyidie no ɛwɔ me mu no ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛko no ɛyɛ Onyankopɔn ne ko. Ɛyɛ yɛaka ni bi ewa ti nyeka hyegbe ye no ni nyena himo ke yeli ake gbejiano to ni hani free SHS bami gbejiano to ni hani this one district one factory bami gbejiano to ni hani wonye wo hwe corona hela keshi wo mana mi aka no ni miamlalo bato gbejiano to koni ijole abami ejake miye hemo ke yeli ake ta nyumotani. My government has always been cognizant of the importance of implementing policies and social interventions to relieve Ghanaians of hardships. It is for this reason that over the first 5 years in office, the government reduced electricity tariffs cumulatively by 10.9%. We provided free water and electricity, as well as reduced tariffs for the entire population during a whole year of the COVID-19 pandemic. We increased the share of the District Assembly's Common Fund to persons with disabilities by 50%. We exempted Kayaye from market toll. We expanded the LEAP by 150,000 beneficiaries. We expanded school feeding from 1.6 million children to 2.1 million children. We restored teacher and nursing training allowances. We absorbed the cost of BC and YC exam registrations for parents. No guarantors now required to obtain student loans. The Ghana card is sufficient. And we have implemented free TVET, as well as free senior high school education. It is obvious, fellow Ghanaians, that you have a government that cares. We're determined to restore stability to the economy and provide relief. We're in all of us are in this together, and asking for your support to rescue Ghana from the throes of this economic crisis. I have total confidence in our ability to work our way out of our current difficulties. We are not afraid of hard work. We will triumph, as we have triumphed many times before. Let us unite and rally around our republic, its institutions and its democratic values, and insist that under God we will emerge victorious from our current difficulty. But this too shall pass, as the battle is the Lord's.
Well, so the number one gentleman of the land has spoken. Let us unite. He believes that we will triumph and that this too shall pass. Isn't this our prayer? All of us here, because we are all feeling the heat. But there's so much we need to do. You know, miracles don't happen in vacuum. There's so much we need to do. And I think that, you know, David, sometimes when I mean, we have to speak to some of these things, I shudder a little bit because I feel that, I mean, to quote them, the government in their own words, they have the men, you know. And so, and I'm not being sarcastic. I'm not being, no, because when I look at the people around the president, I don't understand why we are where we are today. Because I believe that these are intelligent people. These are from the president himself to the vice president to the finance minister to the, you know, to the various CEOs of state institutions. I believe that, yes, we really do have capable people to handle the economy. So why are we here?
It depends.
And from a layman's point of view, you know, sitting back, I think that there are certain things that we really don't need to talk about. The president mentioned that, yes, we are still going to go on with a 30% cut in salaries of the president, of the vice president, of ministers, deputy ministers,
key governments,
CEOs of SOEs and all that. But do we need all these people? For me, that is one. We don't have the money. Why are we closing our eyes to the fact that we can't sustain this? Secondly, we are going to do an all-inclusive, you know, protect the poor. I 100% agree to that. But for me, for instance, giving money, physical cash to people, is this sustainable? The leap that we say we are doing. Elsewhere, yes, council will give money to the aged, will give money to young people. But can we do that? You know, do we have what it takes to do that? We are going to encourage traders not to take advantage of the economic challenges. Is that really it? Are we in a country where we can say that we are encouraging people to do the right thing without cracking the whip? You know, so if we are leaving this to the discretion of traders, then we are doomed, because they know what the, you won't tell me that people don't know we don't have to sell beyond a certain price tag, but they are doing it. They know it is not proper. People are complaining. I think there needs to be a proper measure, you know. Now, government also spoke about importation of rice, of fruit juices. For crying out loud, we live in a country where we have so much arable land. We are growing fruits. Some people are exporting fruits. We can't even transport these fruits to the market. We are importing fruit juices. This is where we need to start from. And I really want to believe that the president talking about all these, you know, there are measures in place to address the wastage in our society. I like the fact that he started by comparing, you know, bringing to our attention what is happening elsewhere. We agree that globally there are challenges, difficulties from the UK to the US to, I mean, all the places that the president mentioned. We agree. But the wastage in our society is too much. We need to cut down on the wastage. Why do we have so many people in government? What exactly are they doing? We have state institutions. We have operational agencies. Why are they not doing the work? There seems to be some kind of overlapping responsibilities with some of the ministries and agencies that we've set up. What are we doing about all these kind of stuff? You know, cutting 30% is just not enough.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I see two major issues here. And a speech is written by a speechwriter. That's his job. And when you deliver a good speech, it's fantastic because somebody who can read well has read a beautiful speech written by somebody who can write well, all right? But leadership and running the country is about taking hard and practical decisions. And you know this. Look, Frema, you talked about wastage. That's one of the key things. I don't understand why a 20 SUV, a 40 SUV convoy is running around the country, and when they arrive at a particular location, engines don't go off. You know, you can talk about national security, you know, safety of the president, all of that. It's just talk, really. I mean, to be honest with you, we watched in the UK as foreign dignitaries, presidents of countries were put into buses. Why do we think we are better than them? Let's stop kidding around. The truth is that we are a wasteful bunch of people. That's a simple thing. We are a wasteful bunch of people. I have been at events as a photographer where the convoy arrives. 20, 30, 40 cars, SUVs, and not a single engine goes off for 3 hours that the event is on. Taxpayers' money, fuel is being burnt. You see, we see the thing, so it's not as if we don't see. We see it. So you see, for me, I don't want to go too hard at, you know, the president's speech and everything else, because I understand that the country needs to feel the presence of our leader, and that he should come out and not be silent whilst we are all going through that. It's a very important thing. It's cathartic. It allows us to feel that he's there. Somebody is at the helm of affairs. It's important. I want to go down to the, you know, brass tacks, and let's deal with the reality. Government, please, if we are going to actually make impact, like Frema said, let's start cutting the wastage. It makes no sense. It is no logic where you have a huge polytank that you say you are putting money in to store, and we are building the wealth of the nation, right? And there are holes inside the entire polytank. Everywhere there are holes. And as it's filling, then it's leaking. As it's filling, then it's leaking. Cost 90. What work have you done?
You know, David,
remember wastage.
This whole rise discussion and all that, 2019, 2020, this was such a big discussion. You know, what did we do with this? You know, I remember...
And that takes me to the second part of my issue.
I went to the northern part of Ghana.
I saw a report of you interviewing the people,
and all that, went to the
all
farms,
those people.
all that, you know. It's not like the farmers do not want to do this. Look, I think that there should be a deliberate effort to let Ghanaians appreciate what we are growing. Look, there are too many options. And so if I have my money, what is the attraction to buy something that I feel is not nice? But if that is what is available,
then we'll
be pushed to make it better. You get it? So these farmers are taking loans from from banks to grow rice. Now, the problem is when the rice is even ready for harvesting, they don't have the means, no combined harvesters, nothing. Everything is left on them to provide the rice, do whatever you want to do, is your farm and all that. But we know that they don't have what it takes. They don't have the strength. So you find most of these farmers losing their you know, the heat in northern part of Ghana. So all the rice get burnt. Look, at that time, people are committing suicide because they've taken loans, the banks are on them, the rice is gone, nothing is being done. Farmers grow their produce, and there's a problem with even how to transport these produce onto the market. We get a lot of, I'm not surprised that we are importing fruit juices, because you get to the farms and oranges are stuck on farms, and watermelons are stuck on the farms, and we are importing watermelon juice, we are importing fruit juice. What happened to one district, one factory, all these things? If really these are working, these factories are working, why are we going through this?
And you've said it. You know, the production side of it is the other arm for me. So we cut wastage, number one. Secondly, we go hardcore into production. The president said that we're moving away from taxation, going to production at the beginning of his presidency.
Yeah.
Are we seeing production? Really? We are importing more now than we've ever imported in this country. And yet we're talking about production. How is that even logical? The two things don't sit together. If you're really producing, the import bill will come down. But we are importing more, which means we are sending more dollars out.
Look, David, see, there are practical exampple.
That's why I said in the speech,
I went
nice.
to Tafo.
But
I
let's
went
go
to
practical.
Tafo in the eastern region to do a documentary, a feature on palm oil plant production and all that. Look, the women there.
You go to Kade?
No, I'm not sure about
Kade is one of the places.
Adam Kono and Tafo, these areas. The problem with the women is they don't have a ready market. Meanwhile, we are importing oil.
Yeah.
So there seems to be a certain missing link, you know, and these are consumables.
Yeah.
Can we import everything we are eating today? If you're importing cars, if you're importing spare parts, if you're importing certain things, it's understandable.
Because we don't make it.
But your rice and stew, your palm oil, your vegetable oil
Let's stop playing.
We can't sustain. This is not sustainable. So look, we are going to be talking about this, but if we do not really put down practical measures, practical steps, we're just going to be running around in circles.
The Commander should get
not sustainable.
Commander,
after
the nice, what do you call it, renovation and
what has
bringing
happened?
of
Has it started operation?
Please, I don't know, because has one bag of sugar come out of that factory?
Well, je suis fatigué.
Oh, tu es fatigué?
Oh, yeah. Oui. No, but you know, I mean, seriously, I think we need to start from our consumer, from what we are eating. Because if we are eating 3 square meals a day and we are importing everything.
And everybody eats.
I don't know how much we need to sustain that.
Let's stop it. Let's just feed ourselves. That's the least we can do. That what we are putting in our mouths came from our soil.
You know, at a point, India said they were driving Tata.
Yes.
Only Tata. You know,
countries have taken decisions, so not the jokes that we are doing.
You get it? If it means that we should also begin to look at some of these things, starting from the top.
Yes.
We need to do it.
Yes, exactly. No country, no table, no dinner table in this country should have anything that is not made in Ghana. If we did that, we wouldn't even be talking this dollar matter and all those things. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.